It's about time to start painting the diesel tank.
Yeah, but first let's start with the leads. Come with us.
I'm Roberta.
And I'm Luca.
And for the past year, we have been building our own tiny shipping container house, so we can travel around knowing that we will always have this little place that we can call home.
But guess what? We just found our dream project before we expected. This abandoned sailboat. So we are gonna stop building the house for a couple months to bring our boat back to life. And then we're gonna go back and finish the house. After the video about the cleaning of the diesel tanks, a lot of people said that we should not paint the diesel tank because the diesel itself would protect from rust the walls of the tank.
But look at this. When the diesel is not touching the metal, it can rust because there is air there.
Yeah, the problem is that not 100% of the time the diesel tank is full. Sometimes it's half full, and that means that half of the diesel tank has oxygen and air. So that's what happens. This lead was under the diesel because the boat is not level, so this was under the diesel and it's much better. This one had no diesel on the lead, so that's the situation right now. And
So,
that's
the solution?
yeah, what we're gonna do today is to start grinding this off and painting with a special kind of paint for diesel tanks. So we are painting, yes, but with a kind of paint that is meant to do that even for diesel tanks. It says diesel tanks.
And water tanks.
Water tanks also, yeah. So this is the paint. It's called Interline 850.
Yeah.
So Interline 850 from International. No, that's not a sponsor video. If you want to sponsor International, we've been using a lot of your paints, but this is not a sponsor video. But this paint from International is meant to be used inside of diesel tanks. So
It's with phenol.
yeah, it's phenolic epoxy.
Yeah.
Phenolic epoxy. So that's not with no diluent. So that's just pure epoxy for diesel tanks. Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
The first one is always the trickier one because we need to try and see and learn how to do it, and then the rest is just repetition. Underneath this yellow paint, there is a kind of paint that's really strong called, yeah, we are gonna write somewhere. But this, when we sand, it's just really hard to clean because it's really black and dusty. So I'm gonna let this dry a little bit and try to dry sand, dry clean. Let's see. By now you must know that we are known for changing the planes, right? Yeah. We're gonna change the planes again.
So we are going to the other marina to see if we can sandblast these little lids.
Yeah, we are kind of too dirty to drive, so we decide to walk there. It's easier than getting the car with a lot of rust dust. Yeah. But we need to see if they have time, if they're available to do that, because they're always busy with a lot of work. Hopefully, Reginald's gonna help us.
They are painting our hatches.
Yeah, they're painting our hatches today, actually.
seems that sandblasting was the correct choice for the leads.
It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna look, I mean, like we didn't do it yet, we just did that little sample, but by the sample you can tell that it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be like raw metal, and then we can treat, and it's gonna last for a long time. But the problem is the sandblasting machine that we have available here is that one, and we cannot take the boat inside of that sandblasting machine, right?
No.
No way. Yeah, and that's the huge problem, how to treat the inside part of the tank. So leads, check. We didn't do yet, but it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be fine. We can do with time. We need to waste our time now with the tank, because the tank, that's gonna be a long job. So let's get started with the tank.
Yeah.
Tanks it is.
Hard time now. We need to decide what to do for real now. We spent one entire day yesterday just thinking.
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes it takes longer to think than to do it. This week's gonna take both long to think, to decide, and to do it.
Yep.
The problem is we have a lot of bubbles on the paint, right? Underneath these, there's a little bit of rust. I'm pretty sure this is not gonna get loose as it is. But if we want to paint on the top of that, we need to sand, otherwise it won't have a good bound. And how can we guarantee that we sand in between bubbles? It's just impossible.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we could just leave as it is and not paint. That's another choice. But with time, this might come off.
And we have that corner there. We cannot see.
Yeah, the truth is this is the rust didn't came off because it was underneath the diesel. But as soon as we have half tank full, then we are going to start having problems.
Yeah.
Because on the other side where there was no diesel, it's a lot of rust. So I think the smart idea is to treat. But to treat, we need to grind, I guess, to the bare metal, because it's just impossible to guarantee that we can sand in between bubbles.
Yeah.
I think bare metal it is, but here it's easy to grind. But how can you grind down up there? We might want to try this new baby.
It's not new. Pedro Chileno, the guy that is our welder, borrowed this to us. Lent this to us.
Yeah, he lent this to us
We
so we can give a try. This is basically a needle that vibrates, and we can get all the way down there. But for that we need a compressor, and we don't have a compressor today. So we are gonna start first with the easy part, and then we're gonna try that.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Maybe until there we can get a compressor from someone.
Yeah, we're gonna borrow a compressor from someone for sure.
So let's get started.
Are you ready? That's a lot easier than it seems. That's pretty good. It's not doesn't vibrate that much.
Let's see. So are we gonna be able to do this?
It's gonna be brand new. Just wait and see. We need to buy one of those. That's amazing. I love it. Seriously, that's amazing.
We can buy it from Pedro.
Yeah, Pedro, thanks so much. Again, you're awesome. That's really cool. Check it out. Check it out. Now she's gonna see.
We got a compressor with the people that are painting our boat, so that's why we were able to do that. It's pretty good.
Is that really good?
Yeah. So the idea now is to sand the inside using this, the angle grinder.
Yeah, because this is gonna be a lot of dust, and hopefully we can, you know, put the vacuum on the hole.
Yeah.
And then we can sand.
There is one hole there and one there. I closed that one, and we are gonna put the vacuum there.
And we are hoping to do less dust like this.
Yeah.
That's, you know, we need to try at least. Let's see what happens. Some people don't believe this is gonna be good, but I think it's a good idea.
Let's see. Wait for it. So we already tried the needles, the angle grinder,
The Artgrid center.
the Anton center, and now
The hand.
hand. So what's the plan for now?
It's tough day. It's been hours here. That's the best we can do it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. So we wanted to bring to raw metal, just metal. It's close to impossible. I mean, if we needed to sandblast it, otherwise it won't be possible. And sandblasting here inside with all the furniture is gonna be a mess. It's just, I don't think we are willing to do that. So we grind as much as we could, with the grease as much as we could. So this is a clean, dry. It's not bad. I mean, like, you still get a little bit of dirt because of the paint. That's, how you call it? Kotar. Yeah, so Kotar just leaves a little bit of dirt, but we're gonna give it a chance. That's it. We're just gonna give it a chance, and then we decide what to do with the rest. But this one we wanna paint today. Otherwise, it's gonna start rust really soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes life is not that easy, you know? One day, if we end up in French Polynesia, remember, wasn't easy to get there. If we get there, I mean.
We are like, I think about 4 hours just doing this.
Yeah, that's probably like, I would say not more than maybe 15% of the whole tank. So that means that we would take like 20 days to do that, I guess.
At least.
Yeah. We'll see. Let's do one each time. Some people don't agree, but I really believe sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That's the best we could get to, and we're gonna give a try. If in 2 years we have trouble, we fix it.
it's about time to check how the tank is.
Yeah. We, in the end, didn't film all the 3 coats because this was too much of a mess. When you start painting, in the beginning it's fine, and then the mess starts and we could not finish, to film all 3 coats. But this is how it looks after 3 coats.
It's pretty good, actually.
Isn't this a pretty tank? What do you think?
I think it's good.
Yeah. The main thing is, everything that you paint is straight out of the painting job. It always looks good. Yeah, the painting is something that you are gonna know if it's good with time, and that's what scares us. Because this, how do I say that? We had a problem that we have these bubbles that probably there is rust inside, right? So this is fragile, yeah. All the bubbles that were underneath the diesel, they were fine. They're really strong. You cannot take with your hand. It's fine. But all the bubbles that were outside of the diesel, they are already rust. And then we are like, we could leave as it is and not paint, just fix the rusted spots and paint the rusted spots, or we could paint everything as we just did. But we are not sure which one is more fragile.
Yeah, fragile.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
We did a test. We are gonna leave this tank like this, and we are thinking on. It was a really hard job.
Yeah.
It was actually the hardest job so far in the building of the tiny shipping container house and the refitting of the boat. It was the hardest job so far. You
might be thinking I'm sad or something because I'm really, really tired. Yesterday we did work for over 7 hours of grinding, sanding, painting and the whole thing. And here was really, really
hard to breathe.
Hard to breathe. Like we have openings to let the air flow, and we had respirators and everything. But still, that was tough.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is that we don't really know for sure if what we did is something that's better than it was before. But that's something that some people say it's better, some people say it's worse. And we don't really... We're not sure. We don't know which side we believe and which side we agree with. And I think the only way to know that is by trying.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's risky, but somehow we need to see if it works. And right now, at this moment, we are not sure if we're gonna paint the whole tank or not.
Yeah, this week is gonna be raining, so we can't paint the tank this week.
Yeah.
But we are planning on maybe leaving one like this painted, treat the rust on the other one that has some spots of rust, and we might just leave the tanks as they are and do like an experiment.
Yeah, or maybe not. Don't take our word on that. We still have time to think about it. We painted one to see how it goes and what happens. But that's the reason why we're not finishing the episode today. We're not finishing painting the tank today. It's because we need to decide.
And it's because we spent 8 hours just to paint one.
Yeah, so imagine how...
8 parts.
It's not really 8, it's like more, it's like 10 parts. So, yeah, I guess this week that's it, because we need to think. That's tough. When you don't have, something to follow, do this and that's it. You need to experiment and see what happens.
And we don't have any expert to rely on?
We do have. I mean, we asked the technician.
Not sure. So.
But no, the thing is, he tells us to do what is the right thing. The only way to 100% guarantee that the paint is going to stick and have a good bound is to sandblast.
Yeah.
But that's not an option, because sandblasting this right here inside of the boat with all the furniture in place, and that's a mess that I don't know if we are willing to do, or if we wanted to do properly and hire a company that comes here and close the whole thing, and that's gonna be too salty. It's just, I don't think right now it's worth for, would be worth, but I don't think we're gonna take this path right now. If in a year or two from now we see that's all rusted, we're gonna take this path, because the truth is the plates are really good. The rust is superficial, so that means that if something go bad right now and the rust comes back, it's just really thin. We would not lose much plate of the metal, and that's a good thing, because the worst thing would be to need to cut the metal off and weld it. We won't have this problem because the plate is really fixed still and the rust is superficial. So I think we can take the chance and risk, and the worst that can happen is that in 1-2 years we need to open up the tank again. But that's life. That's boat life, right? Yeah. Anyone that has a sailboat knows that pretty much you do maintenance in pretty places, hopefully.
Sometimes
in the future.
more than sailing. People here in the marina say that we have more miles in the land than the boat has in his whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, at least in the future, hopefully we're gonna do maintenance in beautiful places, like in the Caribbean, maybe in the French Colony. That would be good.
Must be expensive to do maintenance.
We do ourselves, it's fine. She's still a little bit sick, as you can tell.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm back.
So let's be practical. Right now, that's it for this week. Done. We're not gonna touch anymore until tomorrow to see and talk to some other people so they can see what we did and how it hold. The paint seems like stick really well. The bound in between the paint and the hole seems really good, but that's just theoretical for now. We are not 100% sure, and we still have a lot to do. But for today, that's it, right?
No. The day you are watching this video, we are celebrating 13 years together.
Yeah. She is a patient woman. She is with me for 13 years. That's amazing. How can someone handle me for 13 years? I'm not sure. I'm nice too, right? Yeah. 13 years is a long time. Almost 1/3 of her age.
We have living a lot of good experiences and bad experiences like this.
Yeah, out of 13 years, 2 years you guys can watch. You just go back to episode 1, and that's our last 2 years. Not 2, actually, since Indonesia they have images, so it's like 3 years. Out of
13.
We actually have a video. You can check this video. That's a cool one. We celebrate 10 years in Thailand 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That was we had the channel already. That was pretty cool.
So it's about time to welcome aboard our new patrons.
So, welcome on board
Ray,
Charles,
David,
Thomas,
Carla,
Patrick.
and we also want to thank all the donations to our PayPal.
Thanks so much, David.
And Algonquin.
Well, I guess that's it for today, right?
Yeah.
See you guys next week. Monday. See you guys next Monday.
Yeah.